Collective, and
Collin here.
And we are ready to bring you episode 4
of the final season of Bad Batch. A different approach.
I'm super excited about this. This is cool.
Again, this season just keeps rolling. It's like kind of a nonstop. It's like you could call certain episodes filler, but even to call them filler is like kind of ridiculous at this point because each episode's adding to the last, and they're really nonstop in their
progression. So of course, like we're seeing Omega and Crosshair falling out of hyperspace onto some random planet here.
Yeah, they have to basically they have to crash land their ship onto some random planet after they get out of hyperspace. And it's cool though. Again, this episode really shows off Omega's training, in her being maybe more calm than she would have been in the past, and her survival skills are definitely shown off here because Crosshair's whole time is just shoot first, ask questions later. But we get back to the we crash land and they're trying to attempt to get their coordinates to Hunter and Wrecker still, you know.
But they can't send anything out.
Right.
The only thing that they are able to get, or Crosshair is able to get, he scanned a spaceport that was somewhere nearby down east or whatever. So that's their move. That's their play.
They're going to do that, and while they do that, we cut back to Hemlock and Nala Se having that conversation where she's basically confronting her about all those failed attempts. Yeah. What was happening? How did these attempts? I just had this conversation with you where I might have given you the benefit of the doubt about not helping her escape, but this is definitely very fishy now. What was going on? She's saying this false positive thing, and he's not buying it at any point. To be honest, I don't think he bought any of it, but he was willing to maybe put up with her charade because she was useful. Yeah. And now her usefulness has seemingly come to an end, and he kind of lets her know that and walks out. He's like, all right, cool.
Your future is less certain.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to Crosshair and Omega and Badger at the spaceport, and
again, this is Crosshair trying to just run through the problem. He's trying to just shoot, ask questions later, and then it was cool seeing Omega be like, "Dude, calm down. Let's go figure something out here." So she goes and points him to the direction let's get some disguises. Yeah,
but I liked the questioning of the Imperial presence here already. They couldn't have tracked us that fast. And Crosshair's no, this is just standard Imperial presence on any occupied planet.
Yeah, they landed on an occupied planet. This is the problem. The chances of that were pretty high.
Exactly.
So they really used this episode. I liked a different approach. It really every time Crosshair is just trying to just plow through it and
Omega's got a different approach. She's got a different approach.
Reminding them that there's different ways to do this. So they get their disguises, and she has another idea. She's trying to get on this
they're trying to get passage. Without a chain code.
Yep.
And Omega is
using her wit, using her little stuff that Sid might have taught her.
This is a total Sidism for sure. Of something that's our problem could be your benefit, maybe. If you can help us travel without chain codes.
I'm sick. All right, cool. How about 30,000 credits?
Yeah.
And she's like, ugh. And Crosshair kind of gives her a little guff for it, and they walk away, and as they're walking away, it's funny, she's like, I got another idea. Yeah. And she goes and she becomes a hustler in this moment, and this is awesome.
It's totally pool hall junkies and stuff.
She goes into this place, she's like, I got an idea. And she's like, he's like, we don't even have money. What are you going to do this? And she's like, I got this. Again, she learned all this, in her travels with the Bad Batch, and it's so cool to see.
And then so obviously there's a guy who's winning a lot. She hustles him. And to be fair, the guy doesn't even, and this is kind of the beauty of Omega hustling at this point, is because like the dude doesn't even suspect that he's being hustled by like Omega at all. He's just like, I'm just on a losing streak, and she's like, well, my luck's got to run out eventually. Yeah, one more game, but I deal. And it's like, and she's like, sure.
Eventually, she's up like $5,000 while this like bar at the bar though. There's this Imperial officer, Captain Man.
Yeah,
and he comes over to the table and he insists on that she keeps playing because she's about to walk away with what she just made.
Well,
trying to sneak past the Imperials who are at the bar.
Yeah,
because he's followed by 2 stormtroopers. So they continue playing, but as they're playing, stormtroopers are kind of surveying the land, and they see the crashed shuttle, and they're like, "I think that's one of ours." So they go to investigate. Yeah, they go to investigate. You know, and this is funny because of Omega. It's just she's good at whatever they're playing. Like she's not just like she's a good card player. She's like she's learned how to actually play these games, and she's beating the hell out of Captain Man.
Yeah, up
20,000 credits, and like she's like about to try to walk away, like because he's like, all right, you win, cool, acting all nonchalant about it. And in that moment, he kind of finds out something happened with the shuttle, and he's like, whatever, I don't. I got other things going on.
I don't care right now.
He literally is just like he's like a little chubbier than most officers you see, so you could tell he's just kind of
and he kicked Batcher out earlier, so
So he's just kind of one of those. Yeah, exactly. He's a dick. He's here to make money and like try to ruffle feathers and just mess with people. And he goes up to Omega and he's just like, about that money I just gave you, you're going to have to give me 10 because gambling's technically illegal on this planet, so you're going to have to pay the piper.
You're going to have to pay that gambling fee.
Right.
And she's like, okay.
Right.
Sure. But like, fine. Like, Crosshair was not happy about it. Crosshair, again, was about to start, like, shooting first and asking questions later. And they're fine. You know, like, after it, Crosshair's like, how much do we have left? And Omega is like, don't worry. We've got 35.
Yeah.
Enough for the tickets and a little extra.
Exactly.
And a little extra. But, of course, those Imperial officers take Batcher, and that kid outside is a little hustler himself because he's like, 10K, and I'll tell you where they took the Hound. And, like, Crosshair's like, all right, no. I am done.
Yeah, exactly.
Omega, no, this isn't happening. And the kid's like, all right, fine. Fine, five. It's my final offer. And like, Omega's like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. We'll give it to him. And then he's just like, oh yeah, it just went down to the cargo bay. And he's like, they went that way.
Yep.
Okay. Excellent.
So they basically are trying to like get out of this planet before like everything comes to fruition with this, because they know that they've figured out at least about the shuttle.
Yeah.
So
they know there's
they
a down
get out
shuttle
of here.
for sure.
They like are running to get to on
a spaceport to get out of the shuttle.
Yep.
Yeah, to get that.
And they get to comms to talk to them.
Yep.
But before that could happen, they get chased again.
Yeah.
They get figured out.
Yeah, well, because like Omega goes to the cargo bay to go look after Batcher. She throws the credits back to Crosshair and it's like, if you want to go, but I'm going after, like, Batcher.
She wanted to free all the animals, too. And, like, Crosshair again's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, we need to do other stuff.
Yeah.
And at this moment, they get taken over by the troopers again.
Yep, and this is where Omega's like, okay, like we try it your way.
Yeah.
And Crosshair's finally that he lets out is so like amazing.
But it was like, we'll do it when we need it, but like save that stuff, man.
Yeah. You know, like when you got the ace up your sleeve, you ain't playing it.
And what's cool in this scene is I noticed when he's blasting, his shaky hand doesn't seem to be a problem anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, maybe that was a trauma-related thing that he's working through now, that he's helping Omega or whatever. Not to say that won't come back, but it definitely didn't seem to be much of an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and eventually they get on a stolen ship.
They get on Captain Man's cargo ship that he was about to leave with all of those the exotic animals and stuff that he took there.
Yeah, so Omega just always doing something really kind, while also stealing from a horrible person.
Because as they're part of the chaos of what they did is release a bunch of those animals, if not all of them, in there, and like so it's great. They get on the cargo ship, and Omega is like, "All right, I sent out a
beacon with our information on it,
and to a remote location for Hunter and Wrecker to come find us."
And it works because once they get out, they blast off in hyperspace. They get back
and they get to a new planet, this remote planet. And once they get to like the land or like the ground of the planet, basically, you see another ship there with lights on and stuff. And in this moment, I was like, they're all dead. Yeah. Everybody on that ship on the ground is all dead. Like, no joke. I like literally thought about it. Like that was my legit reaction. I was like, it's been too long, or like they're just dead, and this isn't even like Hunter or Wrecker, and they're just gonna keep searching and searching.
I'm so glad they didn't do that. I'm so glad they didn't do that.
But they did it. They give us the reunion. Yeah. First person off Crosshair and Omega ship is Omega, and who is she first greeted
Wrecker. She meets Wrecker, and it's a sweet scene, and Wrecker's just so happy to see her.
Oh man, dude!
And yeah, it's just great.
All of this is just so well earned and everything.
Exactly.
On all aspects of it, because like that's why you give us episode 2 of just the Hunter and Wrecker stuff of like we have to see Wrecker have this change of being this big brute and like putting his hand on Hunter, being like, "Whoa, man!"
Yeah, exactly.
Like we got to take a breath here, and
but also Hunter knowing being the so difference, uneasy and just not being okay with having another crew member lost. Right. He already lost 2. He's not losing 3 technically. Right. And he's not losing another one, so it works out because then he gets to have his reunion with her. Yeah, and that's also sweet because they
we've crossed the galaxy 4 times for you. Yeah, 5 actually, and then that's the intro to Hunter coming down and stuff.
And then it's like she's like, I had a little help getting out of the cell, getting out of the prison, and all of a sudden that's when Crosshair theme starts playing in the background, and he starts coming down,
and he walks down
the ship stairs, and they don't look happy to see him. And he's definitely gone through a redemption in our eyes, maybe as an audience, but in their eyes they are still wary.
Yeah, and it's really interesting too on how you see it, on how Omega turns, faces, and is standing like parallel with Wrecker, Hunter behind her, but it's like clearly the one side versus the other. Like despite Omega, like Omega and Crosshair, they're fine. Yeah. Like that's water. That's water under the bridge now. Like she just wants him back. Where so like I just found that like very placement there of like very clearly on that side.
Right. And to be fair to Hunter, Hunter and Wrecker, like if they're mad, it makes a little more sense than Omega, who didn't have that background with Crosshair before all that. Yeah. So it was interesting to see because even Wrecker was just his brow was not happy. Yeah, he's a more forgivable type, I feel, and he just didn't look excited. Yeah. But it ends right there before we get an actual word between Crosshair and the boys. The episode ends, and we gotta wait till next week.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, episode ends, and now we get to wait for episode 5. Man, I'm so stoked for this. But yeah, this episode was great. A different approach was definitely a different kind of episode for us, and I loved it, man. It was so good. Bad Batch has been great. It's great to have Star Wars back. Obviously we get like Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte and stuff like later this year. Very excited about those things as well. I don't know. This was really cool.
I'm ready for it.
This is really, really
cool.
Yeah,
Bad Batch is a good start. This season's been just rolling. I can't believe it's only episode 4 and we've had a reunited, and they're already reunited. They're not gonna like play games with getting Omega and them back together.
That was really awesome, yeah.
And then we could spend a little more time figuring out what we're gonna do next.
Absolutely. And, dude, we're a quarter of the way through this season already. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. But, yeah, with all of that, I am Jimmy with the Triple C Collective. And this is
Collin.
And we hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel. And as always, may the Force be with you.